Got two great guests in studio right now, Loretta Swanson and Michelle Britton. We're talking the Belfair Mobility Project, and you can find a little bit more information on this. I didn't even know there was a website here. This is pretty cool, belfairmobility.org, kind of some ideas on the mobility plan and their roadmap to 2040. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Loretta.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for coming on and talking with us about this. And, we've talked with Senator Sheldon over so many years on the Belfair projects and where it's at in the transportation list. And we all kind of were sitting around here the other day going, gosh, it's got to be close to the top of these lists here as we move into 19 and 2020. So currently, tell us a little bit about the project as we get people through Belfair a little easier and perhaps around Belfair a little easier.
You bet.
Who wants to start?
I'm going to kick it to
All right.
Michelle.
All right. Well, that's a good way
just a little bit about roles. So I'll talk a bit about the county's side of things.
Please.
The Belfair Mobility Plan was taking a look at, from the county's perspective, what improvements need to happen, what the vision is for Belfair, and then also looking ahead to anticipating the freight corridor and thinking, do we need some connections from downtown Belfair and SR3 up to the new freight corridor?
Interesting, yeah.
So trying to figure out what our priorities and good locations from the community perspective.
Very interesting. Well, Belfair, the main drag through Belfair there, State Route 3 has definitely improved over the last couple of years. It looks really nice there. Easy for folks to get not only on the sidewalks, but there's crosswalks and plenty of flow of motion for the most part. But this freight corridor really could help even more. Loretta, tell me more.
So
Or Michelle.
the freight corridor is going to be starting up here. It's been a vision of the county for a long time to take Highway 3 around Belfair to try to get the through traffic around Belfair and ease that congestion that's downtown on SR3. So the legislature has a Connecting Washington project that they funded $66 million to bring, and that's for design, construction, and purchasing all the land that we would need to build a roadway around the outside of Belfair, and that's on the hill. So that's where the connection piece comes in. We were talking earlier that it's a challenge to get a connection, and that's why it's important to them. But right now, the state is focused on getting the freight around, and that's going to be a roadway around the outside.
Yeah.
It kind of ends at about the alignment was selected back in like the late 2000s, and they did an environmental kind of document on it in about 5 years ago, and it starts generally about North Mason High School on the south end and Lake Flora on the north end.
Okay. So there's a lot of traffic that goes through Belfair on any given day as people head up to Bremerton or into Silverdale, wherever. Do you have numbers on how much off-flow traffic this would take off the main roadways?
So we were getting ready to redo our traffic analysis, but back in 2000 when we selected that alignment, generally what we generally said was about a third of the traffic actually bypassed Belfair.
Okay.
So there's quite a bit of traffic that goes down into Belfair to access Belfair Highway and 106 and all the various places that
The Tahuya Peninsula.
the Tahuya Peninsula.
Yeah.
So, but a third of the traffic, that's not a small amount of traffic.
No. And these are bigger.
And these are trucks
Yeah.
that need to get through, that need reliable times to make, their deliveries and stuff. So,
What will this look like for the average person going in? I travel through Belfair every day, pretty much heading into Silverdale.
Lucky
and,
you.
And you hit Safeway a lot, and some of the places in there. When this is all said and done, what's the vision for this? Like the average person that's not heading up to Bremerton, but it's still like a thoroughfare through town with the existing
there'd
lights
still be a
and
business
stuff? Or what do you-
loop.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that was a key consideration in developing the mobility plan and thinking about connections up, that we want to maintain the economic vibrancy of the Belfair community, and that's really important. So the focus of the mobility plan was identifying the connections to SR3, increasing local connectivity within the community. We've got limited options, as Michelle said. We've got all kinds of environmental considerations. We've got the railroad. We've got steep slopes, a lot of constraints. But that said, we still do need to have some other ways for folks to get around town. We also focused on improving walkability.
Sure.
Jeff, you mentioned that. We've got lots of great sidewalks as a result of the SR3 project. Mason County recently installed some new sidewalks as well along Clifton and Old Belfair Highway, which were important to the community.
Yeah.
Another key consideration for the plan was just improving traffic flow in general. The freight corridor is a key piece to that. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier, ensuring the downtown visibility remains, and we've got economic viability.
Long-timers will go, well, we've heard about this project for a long time. We haven't seen a lot of movement on it, but anticipated that things are moving ahead here in the next little bit. We'll maybe see some more movement.
We are set to get started. We hired parametrics out of Bremerton, and they're going to be coming in and starting the traffic analysis to start with. We'll start engaging the community. This is the first time that this level of funding has been dedicated to this freight corridor.
Sure.
And we're ready to go. We have a lot of good work that we can use from the past. We have an alignment that has been selected. We've got an environmental document that, even though it never got completely completed, it didn't get that kind of final stamp from the feds. It's very close. Lots of stuff changes, so you always have to go back and look at, connections and, did a business pop up in your alignment or those kind of things. But we're ready, and there's a lot to do.
So when you're building this, will normal drivers of State Route 3 see any of this work, or will it kind of go along and then the last parts of the build are the connectors to the State Route 3? Ideally,
We'll go build the middle part, and it won't be like the Highway 3 widening job. It'll be, we're going to do these connections, and now you have a bypass.
Sure.
I mean, that would be the best way to do it, because we like to not impact people.
Yeah, I bet.
And you think about it, we're building in the most part on virgin ground. A lot of it is virgin ground. It's going to be a lot easier to build than building around utilities.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we do have the Alta piece at the end that those folks will probably be the most impacted of everyone, because we do have to go through that neighborhood.
Well, before too long, we'll see another way around Belfair.
Yes,
Very
that
exciting.
alternative is that's key. You made that point, and an alternative to getting through 3. And you think about it, if you've got an accident on 3, if you have that corridor in place, you could even go down, you could go down the freight corridor and turn right onto 3 and get down 106 and not have to be backed up through that.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of benefits to that as we, over the big snow events over the last month, I mean, those were just treacherous going through there.
Absolutely.
Well, it would be nice to have that.
And thinking back to a year ago, you mentioned Senator Sheldon was talking about the importance of the freight corridor, and the Amtrak tragedy happened around that time, I believe. And boy, everyone was trying to find a way around that and coming through Belfair,
That's right.
Yelm, elsewhere. So your commute was probably incredibly miserable at that time.
Yes, I do remember that now. Everybody was looking for alternate routes, and it was pretty much through Belfair.
Yes.
Whew.
If this stays on track, what's the completed time frame look like? Like, ideally.
For the freight corridor?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the...
We have all the land to buy yet, and the designing, finalizing the designs. I think that we could we're looking at 22, 23 to start construction. And then it depends on what delivery method we use on how quickly that will go. If we put it out to bid, or if we do a design build, it could change a little bit. So
Sure.
And for the county's part, we're shortly going out for design for the connectors. so that we've got those nailed down and able to provide to DOT so that can be incorporated into their design as well.
You can also find out a little bit more on this at belfairmobility.org. Got lots of information on this website here, and we'll share that link when we post this interview. Loretta, Michelle, good to talk with you, and thanks for the update on this.
Thank
You
you.
bet.
Very
Thank you.
exciting.
Thanks for coming.